Okay. Hey everybody, the Reswiral here, and welcome back to more of Ace Attorney Investigations 2, Prosecutor's Path. Oh, right. I would say I'm testing something new out, but not really. It's mostly OBS shit. I'm, using my GPU for both local recording and stream. I've tried it with a few tests and it seems to be fine, but I guess we'll see. Either way, I'm hoping to also finish this today, but I've been saying that for like the past 2 days. This last case is ridiculous in length. Regardless, let's do this. So we're outside Grand Tower in the temporary film lot, although I don't know where anybody else is. Like, the only people there is Penny, Nicole, Lotta, and Will Powers. Nobody else is there. Would you please give it a rest already? Oh, are they like asking a bunch of questions? The heck? I'm telling y'all, it's best for all y'all's sake to come clean. The staff has their lips sealed, short as the reports continue their tenacious negotiations. Oh man, we're getting a play-by-play. If you're not here to cooperate with the investigation, I must ask you to vacate the premises. Put a sock in it, copper. Y'all couldn't even stop Muzilla's invasion. Not only did they secretly raise a giant monster, but now the staff is trying to cover it up. Like I said, we haven't been raising any monsters here at the film lot. But you said you done saw Gordy yourself? Sure, I saw it, but it's not like we were keeping it at the film lot. Mind if we butt in? Hey! Oh man, we got a crew! Holy shit. Ah, Mr. Edgeworth. And John. Oh, you'll come here to search for the monster too? We're searching for a criminal, not a monster. Langzy says, the darkness inside a criminal's heart can be likened to a monster. Ooh. Well, when it comes to killing people, criminals aren't much different from monsters. Agent Lang, this is a problem. I can't let outsiders into the crime scene. These are all key figures in the case. I'd like them to be here when the investigation resumes. Agent Lang, regarding what you said about resuming the investigation, where do you intend to start? We'll start by reviewing the case. Today, the body of President Huang was found here at the film lot. The President's whereabouts from 2 nights ago are still unknown. It seems he snuck out from under the eyes of his bodyguards and ventured outside. And that night was the last time he was seen alive. It was when he met with you, Judge Courtney, on the roof of the Grand Tower. Uh-oh. Why is John sweating? So, why did you meet with the President? That, I cannot say. You can't tell us even under suspicion of murder. Can't say? Why not? Miss Courtney, if you don't say anything, you'll only be more suspicious. Huh. She must have a reason to clam up. I think you're somehow involved in the President's assassination. Yeah, I think that's a crock of shit. She wouldn't kill anybody. The President's body was only discovered today. That still leaves a blank of 1 whole day after Judge Courtney met with him unaccounted for. Don't be so impatient. We're gonna fill in that blank right here, right now. That evening on that blank day, or the evening on that blank day in question is what's important. What happened here last night? So, why don't you tell us, John Marsh? Me? Why is he sweating so much? We know you were here last night. What? John was here? Between that little missy's testimony and the footprints we found, we can easily prove it. John, you were rehearsing here last night, right? You were spying on me? I'm sorry. I just came to check up on things. You really shouldn't be staying up so late, you know? Mind your own business. Ooh! Oh! Oh, wow. Oh, it's gonna change completely, isn't he? John Marsh, that young lady was worried about you. You will not speak to her like that. Sorry. How many times have I told you to be more mindful of the way you speak? Is it just me, or does Miss Courtney's personality seem kind of different? She seems to be as strict with her own son as she is with those who violate the law. Are you listening to me? And earlier as well. Oh my. You should always bear that in mind, no matter the occasion. Can we get on with the investigation already? Ah, pardon me. For Judge Courtney to get carried away like that. This must be her motherly side. Agent Lang, so she has 3 sides. Her motherly side, her judge side, and then the other side that I can't think of a name for. Agent Lang, do you suspect John? All I want is the truth. Why was the president killed? And I want to know who killed him. I'll do whatever it takes to find out. It seems the president was like family to him. John, would it be alright if we ask you a few questions? Sure, it's fine. I've got nothing to hide anyway. I'd hope not, you're a goddamn kid. John's rehearsal. I wasn't feeling too great during yesterday's shoot, so I made a few bloopers. They're reshooting the scene today, so... well, I decided to rehearse a little on my own, that's all. I do it all the time. There wasn't anything out of the ordinary. Okay. You were rehearsing alone that late at night? John, when I called you last night, you told me you were at the hotel. You called him? About what time was that? I believe it was around 11 PM. I require him to call me every night. That's our rule whenever he stays away from home. The truth is, I was at the film lot during that time. Oh god. So you lied to me? Yeah, I'm sorry. Miss Courtney sure is angry. I think it's admirable that he practiced on his own, even if he hid it from his mom. I'm sure she was simply worried. Who knows what could have happened to him out alone so late at night? And in reality, he did get caught up in yesterday's incident. But John said there wasn't anything out of the ordinary, right? I wonder why that's, in red text. Is that really the truth? I mean, if you just look at the tape, you can tell there's something out of the ordinary. There's a bloody footprint. Right, so I wasn't feeling too great. John, you said you didn't feel well. Could you tell me more concretely what was wrong? I've never heard of that word before. That doesn't matter, I just wasn't feeling well, alright? You weren't feeling well. Maybe you drank too much milk? What? How'd you... no, I mean, that's not it. Oh, God. So, he didn't feel well because of his stomach. When I was young, I was told that chewing milk makes it easier on your stomach, you know? This conversation is over. Anyways, I made a few bloopers. Right, they're reshooting the scene today, so... So, they plan to reshoot the scene today, and you were practicing for that last night. Ba-dum-bum. My mistakes cause a lot of trouble for the people around here. I'm a pro, so practicing that much more is natural. He certainly does have an admirable sense of responsibility. John is incredibly dedicated to his craft. He didn't even make any major mistakes in those bloopers. But he said if it would make the movie just a tiny bit better... Shut up. You don't need to go around blabbering about stupid stuff like that. I'm sorry. If only he was a little more cooperative, I'd have no complaints. Anyway, that's what happened. Right, decided to rehearse a little on my own. That's all. About your testimony just now. John Marsh, don't I always tell you? If you're going to practice by yourself, you have to let me know beforehand. I know. My time to speak was completely stolen away from me. I shall ask you once more. John, about your testimony just now. But you know, John, I think that's really great. Again? I bet putting in an honest effort like that will make someone even more talented. You'll go from a little thief to a middle thief, and then someday you'll become a great thief. I'll be doing my best, so you do your best too, okay, John? Why should I not being a thief? Now then, if I may. John, I don't know why it made me laugh. Do you often rehearse in that way? At long last, I finally got to ask my question. He didn't even answer. What the fuck? There wasn't anything out of the ordinary. Right, where's his test tape? There it is. There we go. There is something out of the ordinary. Yeah, the massive footprint. Objection! There wasn't anything out of the ordinary. That's a lie, isn't it? We have evidence right here. Ah, could that be... That's right. It's the video you recorded of your performance. God, who would be recording a video? I don't even know what the year is. I'm pretty sure it's like... Isn't it 2019 in Trials and Tribulations? So let's say like 2020... 2020, maybe. I'm pretty sure it's 2019 in Trials and Tribulations. So yeah, if it is 2020, they're still recording the videos. Their tech is way behind. What? You're telling me you have video from last night? Exactly. And in this video, there is clearly something that is out of the ordinary. This is a monster's footprint. Would you say that monster's footprints are commonplace on a film set? John, why did you conceal this video from us? No reason. Really? Hey pup, this is no joking matter. You had a reason to hide it, right? John Marsh, answer him clearly. But Mom... Well? I didn't want anyone to see me rehearsing. I don't know why they're so shocked. In other words, you're embarrassed about others seeing you practice. Yeah, got a problem with that? You're saying that's why you hid the evidence? John! Oh gee. Quit nagging me. You've already busted me. What more do you want? Yeah, the footprints were there, but I just practiced and headed home. How come you're so calm after finding those footprints? It's a monster, you know? A real live monster. I thought it was just a part of the set. Besides, there's lots of other weird stuff around here too. He's suspicious, Chief. This kid's really suspicious. Yeah, right. The smell of a scoop stinks to high heaven. Shut up. We're done talking. Fucking God, we're all over the place. We're not done here yet. What now? The monster's footprints weren't the only unusual thing that happened last night. Besides the monster's footprints, what other unusual thing happened last night? The head fell off the table. Oop. Take that! A monster's head fell from the roof of that building. Surely you must have known about that. I don't know anything about it. Is that true? I told you, I just practiced a bit and then I went back. I don't know anything about Mozilla's head falling or anything like that. Or do you have evidence that to show that I know something? I can't read. Sheesh. There certainly isn't any evidence of that. It's also possible that it fell after John had already gone back. If there's no evidence, then like I said, we're done talking. It seems that John doesn't really want to talk about last night. Could he be hiding something, after all? Wait up. Agent Lang? It's as I thought. Thank you, Mr. Prosecutor. This video backs up my logic. Huh? Is there something in the video that's related to the case? Yeah. Take a good, hard look at the monster costume in the top left. Oh. Actually, I can see it better on OBS. It's open? I guess? I can't quite tell. It's either zipped open, or it's been cut open. The Mozilla costume? Try comparing it with the one over there right now. Oh, is it zipped up? It looks like it's just hanging there limply though. And the zipper on its back is zipped up tightly. Okay. Yeah, it's zipped. Zipper on its back. What? This discrepancy is... Yeah, the difference is plain to see. In the video, the zipper is clearly open. That's right. Someone was inside. What? Mr. Powers, is the costume zipper usually? It's always zipped up tightly when it's not in use. Mr. Prosecutor, do you remember? My logic from before, that they hid the body inside the costume. 2 nights ago, Courtney pushed the president off the roof and killed him. Afterwards, she snuck into the film lot to hide the body. In here? Wouldn't it be easy to hide a body in a costume or behind this, all this equipment? Then all she had to do last night was retrieve the body. You're saying the body was hidden inside the costume? Yeah, that's right. Just Courtney. 2 nights ago, you pushed the president off the roof of the tower. You then hid the body inside the monster costume. I did no such thing. Ay. Say what you want, but you're the only one who could have done it. Objection! That should have already been proven impossible. The film lot was locked at the time. Judge Courtney could not have entered this place. Oh my god, he's got a rebuttal for everything, doesn't he? Sheesh. And what if there was an accomplice? What? I'll tell you my reasoning, so listen up. Oh, he's going to say that John helped. Really? The mother and son theory. Are you shitting me? When the president was pushed off the roof, John was waiting at the film lot. If John was an accomplice, the problem with the locks would be resolved. The 2 of them then hid the president's body. Inside that monster costume over there. What? You think this crime had such an elaborate plan? What would they gain from killing him? Like, what would be their motive? To take the life of a nation's president. An elaborate plan is to be expected, don't you think? Jean would never take part in such a crime. You're the one being suspected. Your words don't carry much weight. I don't think those 2 had sufficient motive for something like this, though. Well, maybe they had a motive that we didn't know about. You were the last one to meet with the president, and you're still keeping the details secret. Don't you think it's only natural that you're being suspected? Judge Courtney, is there no way for you to tell us your secret? My apologies. I just cannot, no matter what. However, when the time I can talk about it comes, I will surely let you know. So, if you could please... Believe you? Is that what you wanted to say? That's what all criminals say. And you, pup. If you've got an explanation, hurry up and spit it out. I didn't do nothing. That's all I'm saying. Both mother and son won't talk. You still gonna defend him like this? It's true. Judge Courtney's actions are a mystery. However, we still don't know whether or not that ties in with a motive for murder. Yeah, that's right. Their motive for murder can wait. For now, let's talk about the situation surrounding the crime. And the fact that these 2 are the only ones who could have done it. Agent Lang? Don't tell me you're saying John was an accomplice. John still looks like a grade school kid. He's even got a kiddie backpack to boot. How could he be an accomplice? There's just no way. Like I said, John's already in middle school, and the backpack is a part of his costume. Langzy says... Oh god. No matter how young the cub, never pity an ungrateful pup. I may have said pup twice, whatever. He may be a little brat, but a villain deserves no mercy. So Mr. Langzy didn't make any allowances for age. Mr. Prosecutor, you're not just defending him because he's a pup, are you? Of course, that was never my intention. I shall present suitable evidence in due course. Oh, I'm looking forward to it. My logic's just getting started. Your flawed logic, you mean? Problem with the locks would be resolved. How would that resolve the problem? I figured you'd ask that, Mr. Prosecutor. But you know, it's actually quite simple. Listen up. First, that woman pushes the president off the roof. She pushed him off. Or pushes him off. Then that brat who knew the combination for the lock unlocks the film lock. I see. The combination unlocks the brat. Okay, it's the opposite. That's all it takes. With this, the problem with the lock is solved. Your theory that she couldn't get in because she didn't know the combination no longer flies. Regarding the lock, that certainly is a plausible explanation. Agent Lang, thank you for your clear explanation. Please continue with what you were saying before. If you're gonna give up, you better do it now. Why would I give up? Yes, they then hit the body. Supposing those two were accomplices, why would they have needed to leave the body hanging there for an entire day? Why don't you give it a rest and take a good hard look at reality? Thanks to their trickery, our investigation has been confused up until now. Doesn't that about answer your question? Got it. Those two hid the body. In the video, we cannot see inside the costume. So can you really say for certain that the body was placed inside? Yeah, I'll give you that much. In that case, why don't we try examining it? The inside of that costume. There might be some traces left inside. Mr. Powers, may we examine the inside of the costume? Sure, go ahead. But it might be kinda stinky since I sweat a lot in there. Oh wow, this is incredibly dirty. That's strange. We always make sure to clean it after using it, so that the sweat doesn't damage the costumes. Isn't this just proof that someone besides you used the costume? I'd say that dirt from the body probably got into the costume. The president's body did fall on top of the monster's footprint. That must be where the dirt came from. Are you satisfied now? There's dirt inside the costume. The body... Wait, it must have gotten there when the body was hidden inside. Like, he has yellow stain on his clothes, but it's on the front. Plus... I'm just trying to think. That's all I can think. It's like, yes, there's dirt from the body. Yeah, I'll go with that. That's all I could think. So dirt got onto the costume when the body was hidden inside it. Is that really the case? You have a problem with that? There is a fair amount of dirt inside the front of the costume. Yeah, that is a lot of dirt. However... Yeah, that's what I was on about. Because the dirt inside the costume was a lot more than what was on the front of the president. It's only like a little stain, whereas that was a shitload, like quite literally a torso covered in dirt. However, I'd like you to focus on the state the body is in. It's lying on top of the dirt, and yet there's no dirt on the front of the body. If the body really was inside the costume, then it's strange that the front of the body isn't stained with more dirt. Well then, how would you explain it? How did the dirt get inside the costume? From the video footage, it's very likely that someone was inside the costume. Just who could it have been? Where have I seen this? What's the matter, Care? I just feel like I remember seeing something that looked like this dirt somewhere before. But where was it? There were these bits of grey fragments mixed in with the dirt. Grey fragments? There does seem to be something other than normal dirt mixed into it. Something must have gotten stuck to it. And lots of it, I might add. Something got stuck to it. This may merit a closer look. Where did we see dirt that looks like what's stuck on the inside of the costume? The mechanic gloves. To be fair, if you even look at them, it shows it. Yeah. This dirt has some grey bits mixed into it. Huh? And what of it? We found an item belonging to a certain man that was covered in the same type of dirt. That is to say, these gloves. Those dirt stains certainly look the same, but tell me, just what exactly is this grey substance? This grey substance is plastic, concrete, paint. Probably concrete. This grey substance must be fragments of concrete. You mean the stuff that was scattered around the monster footprints? Exactly. Meanwhile, who do these gloves, which are stained with the same kind of dirt, belong to? Oh, I remember. We found it at Blaze's place. Ooh, pardon me. Earlier today, we went to Blaze's garage. There, we discovered these dirt-stained gloves. Come to think of it, there were also hammers, shovels, and other tools placed inside as well. Why would mechanics' gloves, intended to be used on machines, be covered in dirt? If he broke the concrete with the hammer, and then dug into the soil with the shovel, it's only natural for dirt like that to get onto the gloves. Then, maybe... yeah, the true nature of the monster's footprints has been made clear. It's possible that these footprints were dug up by Blaze the Best himself. It's possible? It's possible, you say? Please do enlighten me. Because I honestly have no clue why on earth would he do something like that? Why did he make the monster footprints? Thinking about it, the answer must be he was digging something up. It's possible he was digging something up. I'm pretty sure, if we actually go on to Patricia Rowland's note, doesn't it tell him? There we are. Warner Duggan's henchman, the thing he laid to rest in front of the flower bed 12 years ago, you simply must retrieve it. Oh no, that's something else. Oh. Okay, never mind. I could have sworn it mentioned, like, digging something up, but seems I'm wrong. It probably went something like this. Last night at this spot, there was something that Blaze needed to dig up. For that reason, he broke the lock on the back door and sneaked into the film lot. Using the hammer and shovel, he set to work. Right, yeah, he's creating the footprints. He made them pretty damn perfectly, though. Yeah, not gonna lie. He placed the items he dug up into his bag, but before he could fill in the holes, that's when John came to practice. Exactly. Blaze panicked and had no choice but to hide himself in the Mozilla costume nearby. Ah. To think you would deduce so much from just a pair of dirt-stained gloves. However, all of this is merely a possibility. There's still no proof that he was the one who was hiding in the costume. For all we know, he might have left the scene once he finished digging. On the contrary, such proof does exist, and can be seen in the video. When this video was recorded, Blaze was definitely inside the film lot. Oh, I think I can see why, or what he's pointing out, next to the costume. What? Though I can't blame Agent Lang for not noticing. Yeah, I think next to the costume. The difference between the current film lot, yeah, there's like a box, and the one in John's video, probably like a toolbox. Along with the state of Blaze's garage. It's all too clear that Blaze was still here. What proves that Blaze was still at the film lot when this video was recorded? I would say this. It's like a toolbox. Alright. This bag placed near the costume. There was an identical one inside Blaze's garage. First, the dirt on the gloves, and now the bag. It seems there is a connection. So worn by Blaze the Best when he dug the monster's footprints, or footprint-like holes. And that's my proof. Blaze was inside the costume. Ergo, the president's body could not have been hidden inside. Seems I was able to refute Agent Lang's reasoning. Someone needs to go investigate Blaze's house right away, pal. We need to know what was inside that bag. Yes, sir. Okay, we got halted. By who? Lotta. Oh. Y'all pipe down and listen up. Y'all just been saying whatever works best for y'all. And the noisy one returns. That there's the footprints of the mighty Muzilla. They ain't just some random holes dug up by that old coot. I believe the true nature of these footprints has already been proven quite logically. Logic schmogic. I ain't buying it. Say what you want, but I know what I saw, and I saw Muzilla. Is she referring to how she saw Muzilla out the window of the Grand Tower? Preposterous. Monsters don't exist. Upon our journalists' souls, we ain't having none of it. That statement is an insult to journalists everywhere. Ah, that's right. There's more to them monsters than just those footprints. I remember hearing that Sonny over there was seen with the monster earlier. I reckon that girl over there said she witnessed it herself. When these two are together, all meaningful talk grinds to a halt. If we only knew just what that monster, or what the monster really was, I think those two would quiet down. Mr. Edgeworth, isn't there anything you can do? The monster's true identity. We don't have much choice. Let's see what we can do. Isn't there something y'all... Wait, isn't there something y'all ain't telling us about the monster? Nicole, ask him. Ask him right now. Please settle down. Regarding the true identity of that monster, I already know what it is. What'd you say? That's right. The video John recorded provided the hint that I needed. What you talking about? Oh, I don't know why I read that in such a weird way. Miss Nichols saw Gordy when she went to check up on John's practice. At that time, she mistook something for Gordy. The monster can be seen in this photograph. What? Ain't that just some plain old souvenir photo? You don't really think you can pull the wool over the eyes of a pro like me, do you? What did Miss Nichols really see that she mistook for Gordy? The camera crane. It's the only thing that looks Gordy-like, to be honest. Naturally, Gordy's true identity was... this camera crane. What? The video John recorded was shot from fairly high up. A shot from this position would be impossible without a camera crane. But there ain't no way Miss Nichols would mistake a camera crane for Gordy. I wonder about that. Miss Nichols. Yes? Earlier you said the prescription of your glasses didn't match your eyesight anymore, correct? Yes, lately it seems like my eyesight has suddenly gotten a lot worse. So would you say that you weren't able to see Gordy very clearly in the dark? That's right. Its silhouette was all I could make out. Remember what Miss Nichols said, and I quote, "Its skin was really scaly, almost like a reptile." Camera cranes ain't got no flesh on them, let alone skin. It's just a bare steel frame. That is certainly true, at least in the case of this photo. However, last night it did have skin. You're just doing whatever you can to get in the way of our big scoop, ain't you? That was not my intention. But since I've come this far, it's time to put an end to your nonsense. Gordy's skin is right before our very eyes. This is the skin of Gordy that Miss Nichols saw. Woo! The top. Or vinyl, I think they called it. As Miss Nichols stated in her testimony earlier, it looked like it was going to rain last night. Well, it never actually rained. John still covered the camera crane with a rainproof sheet. which to Miss Nichols looked like a monster's skin. Oh my god. What? You gotta be kidding me. Isn't that right, John? Man, you saw through it all. Not bad, old man. I like how he bows. Unfortunately, the Gordy that Miss Nichols saw was nothing more than an illusion. Not again. Looks like my dream has shriveled up and died once again. That's twice Gordy's fucked her rather. Mentor. Seems like things have finally settled down. Bloody hiccups. I really thought the boy was hiding something from me. Guess I had it all wrong. Now that we've figured out the true form of the monster, everyone seems refreshed. Actually, there's two people here who are totally bummed out. Agent Lang. Wait, what? What's happening? The report is in, sir. We've got the results of President Huang's autopsy. Oh. Good, show it to me. Show me the stuff. Contusions and bone fractures found across the body, resulting from tremendous pressure. So, this was the cause of death. In other words, he was crushed to death. I thought as much. Oh wow. So his cod was crushed to death. Cause of death. Time of death, April 5th, around 11 PM. Check button for details. Yeah, we know. Poor guy. The yellow stain on his chest is currently under investigation, but it seems that gunpowder residue was found on his right hand. Sunflower residue? I didn't know the president was into gardening. Are you shitting me? No, gunpowder residue. Traces are left behind when a gun is fired. Since it has been found on his right hand, it's possible that the president fired a gun. A gun, huh? But we didn't find any guns when we investigated this area. Unexplained gunpowder residue. I'll have to look over the autopsy report later. Now then, Agent Lang, it seems we have our answer. The president did not die from falling off the roof of the Grand Tower. Rather, he died from being crushed under Mozilla's head. I can't deny it. Looks like your logic was right after all. This means the suspicions surrounding Miss Courtney should be cleared up, right? Yes, not only the cause of death, but the time of death proves her innocence as well. Judge Courtney met with the president 2 nights ago. However, according to the autopsy report, the time of death was around 11 PM last night. Mozilla's head also fell last night. It matches up perfectly. That's a relief. I knew he was gonna butt in. Isn't it a bit too early to be relieved? Agent Lang? The president dived after being crushed by the Mozilla's head. That I will admit. But the problem is, who was responsible for the falling head? Mozilla's head fell last night, and last night, the one who was at the film lot was... Ah shit, it was John. What are you saying? Surely you're not implying... That's right. You killed him, didn't you? John Marsh. Yeah, I knew he was going to point to him. The fact that the kid sweats so much just makes me think he's suspicious. But he's probably just sweating because he's a kid. And, you know, panicking. That pup is hiding something. He was at the scene where the body was discovered last night. He also saw the footprints. And despite that, he still claims to know absolutely nothing about the incident. Isn't that a bit too convenient? These footprint-shaped holes have not been proven to be related to the case. Just because he saw the holes doesn't necessarily mean he's involved in the incident. You sure about that? Take a look at the pup's face. He looks pretty shaken up to me. It looks like he hit the mark, but John doesn't want to talk about it. If he doesn't feel like talking, then I have an idea of my own. Let's check the tape. Agent Lang, what is your intention? The police have a device that lets you analyze the video footage up close and personal. Agent Lang, you would suspect John enough to go that far? As long as John's lips are sealed, this may be the only way for us to get closer to the truth. Detective Gumshoe, if I'm not mistaken, you have that device with you, correct? Mr. Analysis is ready to go, sir. Now we're talking. Prosecutor Edgeworth, would you please perform the video analysis for us? She wants me to do it. Who knows what kind of faults that Wolfman will find in it. This isn't exactly my strong suit, but I suppose I have no choice. We've done this before. Are there any new clues shown on the video? Switch. Wait, oh right, yeah, we have to do this. Wait, zoom. It is zoom L? Yeah. Okay, then there'll be nothing there. What about over here? Ah! The president! I can see him! This is... What's the matter? I want to see too. Hmm? Ah! Hey, what's wrong? Show it to me. Prosecutor Edgeworth, I request you submit the evidence to the court. Please, take a look at the top right corner of the zoomed-in video. This person is... the president. Impossible. Huh? No way. It seems we finally found it at last. The evidence that points to the true killer. This video places John at a major disadvantage. You're wrong. That's not right. I didn't know anything about this. That's not gonna cut it. It's clear that you and the victim were together at the same place where his body was later found. John Marsh, there's no doubt. You killed the president. No. This can't be. Why would you? John. Please, don't tell me. Did you really kill the president? Mr. Edgeworth, is this really decisive evidence? Mr. Prosecutor, looks like even you can't object to this. That pup said he didn't know anything, right? And yet, the president's right here in the video. John, what are you hiding? John, please, tell us the truth. The truth is, it's all my fault. Uh-oh. John Marsh, what did you do? Mozilla's head falling was all my fault. Oh no! Did he cause the fire to start or something? During the rehearsal. While I was setting up the equipment on the roof, I used the... oh god, he did. I used the heater. After that, I went down to practice, but I forgot to turn it off. Then my mum called me, so I left the film lot. When I came back to the lot, after the phone call was over... oh, Christ. Mozilla's head that was on the roof had fallen. And right next to it was the president lying dead on the ground. Oh, Jesus. He's been exposed to some shit. How can that be? I see. There were indeed traces of that something had caught fire on the rooftop. I mean, it wasn't intentional, so he can't be, like, you know, entirely blamed for it. The only thing he can be blamed for is being slightly irresponsible and not turning the heater off. So, it was just a small fire, so I was able to put it out by myself. So, the president's death was John's fault. But, wouldn't that make this an accident, sir? And then, what did you do with the fallen head? I took it apart, brought the pieces up to the roof, and put it back together. Ah. So you put out the fire and even put the fallen head back on the roof. Which means you were hiding evidence. We can't be having that, you naughty little pup. I didn't do it on purpose. I really did just forget to turn off the heater. When the legs broke, the stand would have tilted if Mozilla's head was on top of the stand. Yes, it would have fallen off. So the head fell down because of the fire. Yes, and if that's the case, I also have a pretty good idea what caused the fire. There's a flammable can next to the heater. If someone... no, it seems someone is lacking in safety awareness. Was it really just an accident? If that's the truth, then what was the president doing here? I don't know. There was no one else around when I was there. You expect me to believe that? The president wouldn't have come to a place like this without a reason, you know. Indeed, the president's reason for coming here is still a huge mystery. 2 nights ago, he met with Judge Courtney on the roof of the Grand Tower. And last night, he was here at the film lot. Did he meet with John? I'll have to listen to John's testimony very carefully. Oh boy. Okay. So, setting up the equipment on the roof, I used the heater. Because I'm a silly goose. John, you are still young. I know we can get a little cold in early spring, but you shouldn't have to resort to a heater. It's precisely because he is young that he must make sure to take good care of himself. However, while it can get a bit chilly during this time of the year, I wouldn't necessarily say, what are we on about? Hold it, old man. Is this really the right time to be having this argument? He's completely right. John, you did well to get the better of Mr. Edgeworth, but please mind your language. Let's not forget that he got the better of you too, Your Honor. I know, Mom. So, where was I? That was just a tangent about a heater. Forgot to turn it off. You forgot to turn off the heater. You didn't check it before leaving the roof? I meant to turn it off, but I was too focused on practicing, so... Oh, come on, everyone forgets stuff like that sometimes. Yeah, I gotcha. I forget small things like that all the time too. Like sometimes I'll forget to turn off the AC or the lights in Mr. Edgeworth's office. Or I'll jump off the ladder for... What the heck? Okay. Or I'll jump off the ladder for his bookshelves or leave prank calls on his answering machine. But forgetting to turn off the heater is really dangerous, so you've got to be careful. Some of those things had nothing to do with forgetfulness. John, please continue. Looks like you've got it rough too, old man. Well, back to my story. Oh, I love all the characters in this game. They're so good. Then my mum called me and I left the film lot. It was late at night at the film lot, and not a single member of the film crew was around. So then, why did you have to leave the premises in order to answer the phone call? I totally forgot about the phone call thing, so I kinda panicked. If I didn't answer it fast, I would have been busted for leaving the hotel without permission. In that case, why didn't you just answer it here? Because I was rehearsing. All the cameras and mics were on. If I talked here, every last word I said to Mom would have been caught on camera. So he was embarrassed that the conversation with his mother would be recorded. Anyways, I stopped practicing for a bit and rushed out of the film lot. When I came back to the lot after the phone call was over, that's when he saw the body. In that phone call you lied and said you were at the hotel, correct? Why didn't you tell your mom that you were rehearsing? If I told her that, she would have called the hotel and made them send me a taxi or something. Of course I would have. A child alone on the streets at that time of night? What sort of parent would allow their child to be in such a dangerous situation? I guess kids just don't understand how their parents feel. It goes both ways, Mr. Edgeworth. Indeed. Now then, John, please tell us about what happened after the phone call. Huh? Oh yeah, of course. When the call was finished and I came back here, he saw the head. Mozilla's head that was on the roof had fallen. Was there any indication that the head was about to fall? I don't know. I was focused on my rehearsal. So you forgot to turn off the heater, which led to a fire on the roof. I would think you should have at least heard something. Heard something? Oh, I was wearing headphones, so... Headphones? Listening to the movie soundtrack helps me get into the scene. I had it on full blast, that's why I didn't hear anything. And yet you noticed your mother's incoming call. I had my phone on vibrate, old man. That's how I noticed. Anyways, the head had fallen, and right next to it was the president, lying dead on the ground. What was the state of the body? I didn't get a good look, because it was dark. He's suddenly becoming as quiet as a mouse. I'll become as quiet as a mouse. I guess John doesn't really want to remember anything about the body. Is that the only reason why he's gone so quiet? Should I press him for more details? Sure. You didn't get a good look. Then how did you know he was dead? That's... well... He's clearly shaken. He must be hiding something. Wouldn't you normally call for help if you see someone collapse on the ground? However, you did nothing of the sort. But he was already dead. Is that so? You seem quite certain that the president was already dead. Now, is there a reason for that, I wonder? The guy was collapsed on the ground, and right next to him was the fallen monster's head. I'm not stupid. It wasn't hard to imagine what happened. You can imagine whatever you want, but there was no way for you to know that he was dead. You actually checked to make sure the president was dead, didn't you? Yeah, that's right. I was scared, but I got up close to the body and checked to see if he was breathing. I thought as much. However, why would he hide that? There must be a reason. Please tell me the state of the body at the time, or at that time. At first I didn't know he was dead. I would have realised sooner if there had been any blood. But there wasn't a single drop, and his clothes were completely spotless. Either way, he wasn't breathing. That's how I knew he was already dead. Would you please append those statements to your testimony? So I didn't know right away that he was dead. There was no blood and his clothes were spotless. So you were unable to tell if he was dead because of the lack of stains on his clothes. Are you certain of that? Of course I am. You guys saw the body too, right? So what's the big idea? You said that the area was dark, and yet you were still able to make that observation. I'm telling you, there wasn't a single stain on his entire body. Give it a rest, old man. Thank you, John. That was all I needed to hear. Are clean clothes that important to you, Mr. Edgeworth? Mine are freshly washed, though. Next, could you tell me how you determined that the president was dead? Well, there wasn't anything to let me know right away that he was dead, you see. He wasn't breathing at all when I checked. When I checked, so I knew he was already dead. Actually, hang on. Yeah, he would have had the residue. He said he was spotless. So, yeah, that's not true. His clothes are spotless. Sorry, but they weren't. There was dirt. His clothes were spotless. Yeah, that's right. You got a problem with it, old man? John, it is painfully obvious to see you are desperately trying to hide something from me. What are you going on about? I'm not hiding anything. You are hiding. Something about this yellow stain on the president's clothes, correct? Uh-oh. Why did you leave it entirely out of your testimony? The fact you made no mention of it only serves to cast more suspicion upon yourself. That's because I hope you have a convincing explanation. Of course you'd get involved. Judge Courtney? Allow me to explain. Why are you... Oh shit. So the yellow stain left on the president's chest is almost certainly lion lily pollen. Lion lily? When I met with the president on the roof of the Grand Tower 2 nights ago, I brought him a bouquet of lion lilies. Oh. Lion lilies are beautiful flowers with stunning gold petals. Some of the pollen from the lilies must have gotten on the president's suit. Huh? But... I didn't see any lilies in the security footage, though. They were simply obscured by the president's body. Why did you bring a bouquet? That I cannot say. Why? Hey, you're keeping way too many secrets. You won't tell us why you met with the president or the reason you brought him flowers. My apologies. However, I did give him the bouquet. That much is true. But when the president's body was discovered, we didn't find any flowers. I honestly don't know how that could be. Huh. Hey, Miss Judge. All your answers have been too vague. You can't say this, or you don't know that. Do you accept flimsy testimony like that in your trials? Hey, cut it out. John, I threw the flowers away. You threw them away? So, there were flowers near the body when you found it? Yeah, that's right. They were right on top of the president's body. They had been crushed as flat as pancakes, though. Ah, I see. So the flowers were squashed by Mozilla's head too. And a large amount of pollen got stuck to the president's suit. That seems to be the gist of it. However, why did you go out of your way to dispose of the flowers? No reason. So, John's not going to tell us anything either. I guess mother and son both have a lot of secrets, huh? That is not true. At the very least, I can tell you why John threw away those flowers. Huh? John, you saw me leaving the house with those flowers in hand, did you not? I get it. John saw the flowers and thought of his mom. He threw them away in order to protect Judge Courtney from being suspected. That's not true. You're all wrong. That was his worst lie yet. Ah, so bouquet. A bouquet of lying lilies Judge Courtney gave to the president, found on top of the body by John. Okay. Alright, yeah, that's basically just updated the stain. I often decorate our house with those flowers. The bouquet must have reminded him of me. So, the pup just happens to find the flowers from his mother's bouquet on top of the body. That's why he threw them away and kept silent about the body? Huh. That's a tidy little story if I've ever heard one. And what's wrong with that? I suppose you prefer untidy, messy stories, Agent Lang? Don't tell me you've forgotten already, Missy. This pup confessed that he caused the monster's head to fall last night. Oh, that's true, but he's currently the only suspect in the president's murder. It's not murder. It is true that there are many reasons to suspect John. However, there is someone other than John who is far more suspicious. Blaze, what do you say? John himself was kidnapped by that very person not too long ago. Oh, and we rescued him from... Oh, the refrigerated warehouse near the harbour, pal. A refrigerated warehouse? That's right, pal. Oh, Sunshine Warehouse. The refrigeration wasn't turned on, so he wasn't about to freeze to death. But if he hadn't yelled out for help, we would have never found him. Once the sleeping drugs wore off, he was finally able to call out for help. Hey, Auto Mushin. How's it going? Sleeping drugs? Huh. If I recall correctly, when you were kidnapped... That's right. There was a bottle lying on the floor of the refrigerated warehouse. I think it was the same thing that was used on me not long ago. That sleepy ZZZ stuff. It's super powerful. I'm glad to hear that. I'm not too bad, thanks for asking. Sleeping drugs. Used on Kay and John when they were abducted. The brand name is Sleepy Z's. How about it, Agent Lang? John is clearly a victim. There is a mastermind at work behind the scenes of this case. Not so fast. I don't know anything about this so-called mastermind. You say they were here last night. I still don't know for sure yet, but it's more than likely. Huh. It's not like you to be so vague, Mr. Prosecutor. Indeed, I still don't have any evidence that ties the mastermind to this murder. Is there someone else? Is there anyone besides John who had the opportunity to murder the president? Blaze? Yeah, Blaze. We're gonna say Blaze. That's it! Eureka! As I thought, in the end, that pup is our only suspect. What about Blaze? Isn't there one more suspect, Agent Lang? What's this? Didn't we prove it earlier? Last night, there was one more person here. Blaze the Best. You're saying he's the one who did it? Last night, John was not alone. Blaze the Best was here too. Shouldn't we consider him to be a new suspect? Blaze the Best. Killed the president? It's entirely possible. Blaze the Best. It can't be. The same guy from 12 years ago? Oh. 12 years ago, that keeps popping up. Yeah, it popped up in the courthouse too. Well, a lot's changed. It all happened over 12 years ago. Back then, he and my old man were close friends. and our clan protected the president's life. Oh, the best thing was kind of run into the ground with Blaze's son, Sebastian the Best, or the Best. He kept claiming he was the best prosecutor because of his surname. He was annoying at first, but I actually quite like his character now. He's, actually grown quite a bit. Lang, don't tell me you're the one from 12 years ago. You got it. Ain't this nice? Now you're finally going to prison, where you belong. 12 years is a long time coming for a suspended sentence, don't you agree? Agent Lang, what happened 12 years ago? Nothing that concerns you. On the contrary, it might just have some sort of connection with this case. Everybody is involved in this somehow. You got Patricia Rowland, Blaze the Best. Well, those two, at the very least. And I suppose you have some proof, Mr. Prosecutor. Show me evidence that there's a connection between this case and the one 12 years ago. Oh! We have Patricia Rowland's bloody report thing. It says about the, something from 12 years ago, I'm pretty sure. Evidence, you say? I'll have a look now, actually. Does this say anything? Please get revenge from 12 years ago. So that does too. Basically, look for anything that mentions 12 years ago. The report from report on Knightley also mentions it, doesn't it? Yeah, there you go. That thing he laid to rest in front of the flower beds 12 years ago. Simply must retrieve it. So either or. So letter from unknown or report on Knightley. Alright. If you don't have any evidence, then there's no point in talking about it. Is there any evidence that connects this case with what happened 12 years ago? Yeah. Should I present this one? I know it won't matter. Yeah, sure. This letter was sent to Joel Crane, who was murdered 2 days ago. Although the sender is currently unknown, here, it is written as follows. Please get revenge for 12 years ago. What? 12 years ago? That's not all. Take a look at this as well. Oh, it presents both of them. Of course it does. This is a report written by Patricia Rowland to Blaze the Best regarding Knightley. Please read this part here. That thing he laid to rest near the flower bed 12 years ago. Agent Lang, something big is happening here. Joe Crane's murder 2 days ago, and now the President's murder today. There has to be some connection there. And the key to solving it lies in what happened 12 years ago, does it not? You're asking me to reopen the old wounds to the Lang clan. Agent Lang, I beg of you. Wait, who said that? Who was that just now? Shifu! Oh, it's his men? You guys, what are you all doing here? There's only 3 of them. We followed you here, Shifu. We heard that Shifu was investigating the incident from 12 years ago. You idiots. I'm not your boss anymore. Get back to your own posts. Sir, we can't do that. What'd you say? Are you disobeying my order? Shifu, we also beg of you. Reinvestigate the SS5 incident from 12 years ago. None of us could ever forget that case. We know you feel the same way, Shifu. Is it going to be down to us to solve it? More than likely. Agent Lang, even your former subordinates decided to reinvestigate the case. And you think you can solve the mysteries of that case? Perhaps I can. With your help. I got it. I accept your invitation. Oh my god. Shifu, Shifu, Shifu! Now then, with that decided, I guess it's my turn to shine. Okay. We're investigating a case from the past, right? And guess what the best tool for that is? Little Thief. The Little Mr. Thief. Right. If we have the case files from the past, I can recreate it. Unfortunately, I don't have the case files. Huh? What do you mean? Access to those case files is restricted. It's being treated as highly classified information. Fantastic! Why is that? I don't know, but it seems like there were a lot of things that they wanted to keep hidden. Even what I know is limited to what was published in the newspaper back then. That will not be a problem. In any case, please tell us what you know. Sure. Any information we get can be used to recreate it. The SS5 incident. The incident occurred on a winter day, 12 years ago. It was the 10th of February. The police department in this country received a call from a group of kidnappers. We've kidnapped President Huang, they said. Kidnapped? The SS5 incident was a case of President Huang's kidnapping. They demanded a ransom of $100 million. Oh god, I should have done the Dr. Evil voice. $100 million. 100 million? Wait, just how much is that? A lot. It's such a large amount, she's having trouble visualizing it. Surprised Gumshoe didn't come in and say, I could buy so many noodles with that. That night, my old man was the last person to meet with the president. They were together at the Zhengfa embassy until midnight of February 10th. After that, no one knows what the president was doing up until he was kidnapped. With the president's life at stake, the Zhengfa government frantically gathered the money. After that, the ransom was delivered and the president was returned safe and sound. So, President Huang has been the president since 12 years ago. That's really amazing. Well, being in office for so long is just a small part of how amazing the man is. Lang seemed a bit happy when he said that. And what happened to the kidnappers? Well, a top-secret covert investigation was carried out, then a secret trial was held. A trial? Does that mean the suspect was caught? The suspect was Patricia Rowland. Then, the reason you came to the prison a few days ago was to see her. Yeah, I was put on extended leave from Interpol. So, I decided to go back and reinvestigate what happened 12 years ago. Ah. First, I had to get a look at the face of my target. So the trial 12 years ago ended with a not guilty verdict. Yeah. Back then, my old man was in charge of every aspect of the president's security. He took responsibility for the kidnapping and was relieved of his post as bodyguard. But he continued to investigate as a regular police officer until he finally found the culprit. And it was none other than Patricia Rowland. There was no way she could be innocent. However, the result was a not guilty verdict. In the end, the case went unsolved. Crushed in both body and soul, my old man resigned from the police. What was the basis for arresting Patricia Rowland? There was a lot of evidence, at least that's what I think. But I can't see those documents for myself. So that's where my story ends. What should we do? With only this much information, even the little thief would have a hard time producing a recreation. Is there really nothing we can do? Looks like you could use some help. Who's that? Oh! Franziska and Ray! I want to hear Ray's theme. His is way better. Franziska! And Mr. Shields, too! We finished up with the trial and finally managed to catch up with you guys. Here, take this. This is... Ah, it's the case files for the SS5 incident, sir. How? How did she know, for starters, and how did she get access? What on earth? So 12 years ago the president was kidnapped and a witness was killed. Oh, right. When Rowland mentioned 12 years ago, during the trial, it caught my interest. Ah, okay. I looked into it immediately and got in touch with Interpol. I expected no less from you, Franziska. Don't get the wrong idea, Miles Edgeworth. I didn't prepare these documents for you, the former prosecutor. I did it for the sake of the investigator, taking up the case his father left behind. Sis, but I thought information on the SS5 incident was restricted to the public. That restriction was placed by the prosecutor in charge of the case, Blaise de Best. Blaise de Best was the prosecutor in charge? Him? However, as a result of the trial just now, Blaise's authority has been revoked. It's all thanks to his son. Really? Sebastian? By bringing down his father, the door to his past case has been opened. To this past case has been opened. Prosecutor de Best is currently wrapping things up in Patricia Rowland's trial. He told me to relay this message to you. Leave Pops and his cohorts to me. You guys just take care of the case on your end. Heh, he's become quite reliable, right before our very eyes. Truly. Aw. Alrighty then. This is perfect. Now that we have the files, just leave the recreation to me. I actually want to read it, because we don't really have much insight into it. Alright, the president of Zengfar, Di Young Huang, was kidnapped on February 10th, 12 years ago. The kidnappers demanded a ransom of $100 million. Dai Long Lang confirmed that on the evening of the incident, the president was at the Zengfar embassy until midnight. Prosecutor placed the best suspect, Patricia Rowland. Wait, so the prosecutor in charge was also, you know, in business with Patricia Rowland. What on earth? Indeed. Well then, let us begin. According to these documents, it appears that the incident took place right in front of the Tower Plaza. Then let's head to the plaza right away. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. So outside the Grand Tower. Okay, would you please activate Little Mr. Thief? Right. With these case files, recreating everything should be a snap. Where should I start? Where indeed? According to these documents, it seems there was a witness to the kidnapping of the president. A freelance journalist by the name of Jack Cameron. However, he happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time and was murdered by the culprit. So that would mean the place he saw the president at was here. Here? At the Grand Tower? No, the Grand Tower was only built around a year ago, okay? Before that, this place contained mostly old abandoned buildings. However, 12 years ago, this place was... Huh. Now you're finally talking about some stuff that I know. Yeah, 12 years ago, at this very spot was... the Happy Family Home. What's that, pal? It was a place where children who had lost their parents could live. Or to put it simply, it was an orphanage. Oh. So, the president was kidnapped at that orphanage. And the head of that facility at the time was Patricia Rowland. Apparently Rowland always referred to it as her home. It seems that suspicion would naturally fall upon her. Patricia Rowland, Blaze the Best, and President Huang. The darkness that remains from the SS5 incident still casts a shadow on the present case. Okay, I'd like you to input the investigation data from Jack Cameron's murder case. We could probably assume that he was killed by one of the kidnappers. So if we solve the murder case, we'll know who the kidnappers were, right? Precisely. I'm counting on you. Here we go. Woo! Recreate. Oh, wow. Oh! I've already noticed something. There are 3 flower beds. What the heck is this? Everything's green. I've come to expect such reactions. This is a recreation of the grounds of the facility that stood here 12 years ago, based on the documents from the police investigation. I recreated the scene to show what it looked like when police arrived at 7 AM the next day. It appears a fair amount of snow had piled up here. Yeah, I heard that the footprints in the snow were prime pieces of evidence. The snow fell during the day on the day of the incident. So the snow only fell before the crime took place. Which means the footprints wouldn't have been erased by any further snow. We must make sure to pay close attention to these footprints. Orphanage front yard. Oh my god, look at all the footprints. Well, they lead to Jack Cameron. So, this is the eyewitness of the president's kidnapping, Jack Cameron. What exactly did he witness? I recreated the state of his body based on the photos taken by the police. Okay. It appears he was struck on the head from behind. Okay. The murder weapon was a brick, right? It looked like it was... It looks like the ones from this garden. The blood that flowed from his head has splattered all over the surroundings. Nice. Here, take this. It's Mr. Cameron's autopsy report. Okay. So, bludgeoned to death, February 10th around 1 AM. Alright. Okay, so now I get to inspect him. Oh! The first thing I noticed right away was this. A yellow flower has fallen here. In the language of flowers, it means a stolen treasure. Okay, please stop making things up. Still, this flower seems to be of a different variety from the ones growing nearby. Well then, why is it in a place like this? This bothers me a little. We should examine the flower bed itself after this. I knew it. Someone must have stolen this from somewhere and brought it here. Okay. And in the language of flowers, this means an angry prosecutor. Oh my god. Oh shit. Jack Cameron was a freelance journalist. He was killed because he witnessed the president's kidnapping. The blood really stands out in the recreation. It's giving me the heebie-jeebies. Even in the original photo, it looked brutal enough. A lot of blood was spilled. The back of his head is covered in blood. That must be where all the blood spilled from. According to the autopsy report, he was struck in the back of the head with a brick. Indeed. It's likely that the killer approached Mr. Cameron from behind. Is the victim holding something in his right hand? That's also written in the case files. It seems he was holding onto a button. A button? Did he tear it off the culprit's clothes? Ah, okay. Cameron's corpse held it tightly in his right hand, stained with Cameron's blood. Lovely. A camera? A camera? The victim was carrying a camera. Oh, according to the case files, it seems he only managed to take a single photo. Here it is. Oh shit. This is... Isn't that the president? He's being held at gunpoint. This must be the scene the victim witnessed. Wait a minute. The weird thing about this picture is it reminds me of a game called Gunpoint. Purely because of the character on the right, it looks like the main character of Gunpoint. At least I think it's called Gunpoint. Not entirely sure if I'm completely honest. Either way. So the person in the coat must be the kidnapper. Indeed, it seems like some sort of disguise. If the logic of Agent Lang's father is correct, then this person should be Patricia Rowland. But why is there only one photo? Perhaps he was killed before he could take any more. So Cameron's photo, only a single photo of the president's kidnapping was taken. Right, so we already know the brick's the murder weapon. This is the brick that was used as a murder weapon. Murder weapon, brick. Found near Cameron's body. Did it come from the facility grounds? You can find bricks like this all over the garden. They must have used one of them as a weapon. And finally his phone, maybe? I assume this is the victim's cell phone. That's right. Apparently Mr. Cameron gave his eyewitness testimony over the cell phone. What do you mean by over the cell phone? After Cameron found the president, it seems that he called his girlfriend. But she didn't answer the phone, so Cameron left a message on her answering machine. The tape is in the case files too. You want to hear it? Please. Okay. Hello, Jill. Are you asleep already? I'm in front of the facility now, but... something's not right. President Huang is here of all places. And what's more... Crap. The light just went off. I can barely see a thing now. I can't believe it, but... it almost looked like he's being kidnapped. I thought I'd let you know. Oh! God, it ends with the brick. Boom. Wait, his girlfriend was called Jill. Was his girlfriend Jill Crane? No. No. What was that sound at the end? It seems he was attacked while he was still on the phone. Agent Lang, may I ask? What was the name of Mr. Cameron's beloved? I'm pretty sure I heard her name was Jill Crane. It was her. Wait a minute. Was she killed because she was connected to the SS5 incident? So it was true. Did you say Jill? This is why she was seeking revenge for 12 long years. Oh, revenge for her boyfriend's death. Or murder. That makes more sense. The feelings of the items Miss Crane inherited from her beloved brought her to the auction. She had come to exact revenge on the conductor, Blaze. Oh. But Miss Crane tried to get revenge on Blaze, right? Ah, okay. She may have wanted to get revenge on him for covering up the kidnapping case. Or perhaps she thought Blaze himself was the kidnapper. Oh no. So it was your Gran. Huh. Everybody's tied together in this, it seems. No, that's all that. So, examine this flower bed, because it's the one that's got the flowers on it. A flower bed? According to the data, this facility had 3 gardens. One in the front, one to the right, and one to the left. Each of these gardens contained 3 flower beds. The facility had 3 gardens, each one had 3 square-shaped flower beds. I think I can see what this is lining up with. The way these flower beds are lined up. Have I seen this arrangement somewhere before? Yes. That's basically a hint. Since it was during the winter, there were no flowers in bloom. What a shame. What's this yellow flower? Huh? Why is there a single flower here? That is a lion lily. It's a very rare type of lily. Did you say lion lily? That's the flower Miss Courtney gave to the president. What's it doing here? Could it be just a coincidence? If I recall, the lion lily originates from Asia. In the language of flowers, it means the bond between parent and child. I never knew you were so familiar with flowers. That much is common sense. You're simply lacking in your studies, Miles Edgeworth. Alright, logic. I can now do the flower beds and 3 footprints. Fucking hell, it's been ages. I've had this for so long. Yeah, since the start of the bloody case, which at this point is like 5 hours ago. Finally. Hooray! Perhaps this is the true nature of the monster's footprints. True nature? Yeah, if you look at their arrangements. Compare the positions of the 3 footprints and the 3 flower beds on the left. Ah. The exposed areas of dirt match the areas where the flower beds were. So Blaze dug holes in front of where each of the 3 flower beds used to be. But why? Exactly. Now, why would he do such a thing? I believe we have a piece of evidence that tells us why. Why did Blaze dig holes in the ground near the flower beds? Right, this is what I need the report on Nightly for. Because it mentions the flower beds. The report from Patricia Rowland to Blaze to Best. It said that something was laid to rest in front of the flower bed. So Blaze was following Miss Rowland's instructions to dig it up. But why would he dig up 3 holes? The report didn't state which of the 3 flower beds the item was in front of. Oh, so Blaze didn't know exactly where to dig. So that's why he had to dig up all 3 spots. Most likely, yes. I'm sure Blaze himself was none too happy about that. He went through all that trouble. I wonder what he was trying to dig up. What did Blaze dig up? Instructed by Patricia, something was dug up near the flower beds. Wait. Whoa. Wait, there's all... Is that snow? It was snow that just looks like it's melted. Oh, it's burned! Okay. This pillar appears to be burnt. According to the files, it seems there was a fire on the evening of the incident. A fire? Let's see here. Huh? It says that one of the children at the orphanage spilled kerosene and set it on fire as a prank. I guess that kid had far too much energy. And thanks to that, we can't make out any of the footprints near the main hall. Fire. Prior to the incident, a child's prank caused a fire on the facility grounds. What an idiot. These footprints stop near the body, so they must be Mr. Cameron's footprints. He sure has some big feet. They look like a size 11. According to the data, his shoes match these footprints. Okay, what about these ones? Because there are 2 tracks. The footprints here seem to lead to and from the body. These footprints were believed to be the culprits. The shoe size is about a size 7. That's fairly average for a woman. It seems we'll be able to tell who the culprit is from these footprints. Actually, no. 7 for a woman's fairly large. Okay, so we don't know who that is. Hey, Lang. 3 flower beds. And snow. Agent Lang? What's the matter? Something strange. I wasn't able to read the SS5 incident case files until now. Since Blaze had all the access to that information restricted. Yeah, that's right. And yet, I feel like I've seen this exact scene somewhere before. What do you mean? Where did I see this? If I could just remember. He looks deep in thought. I should leave him alone for a while. Okay. We've learned pretty much all that we can about the situation at the time of the murder. Oh, in that case, is there another scene you'd like to recreate? Yes, would you do the honors? I would like you to recreate the scene when the victim witnessed the president's kidnapping. Okay. Right, I'll recreate the scene based on Mr. Cameron's photo. There we go. Love the noise it makes. Just always the usual. Mr. Cameron is standing in the middle of the flower beds. Okay, here we are. And the president and the kidnapper are standing on the road. My old man based his initial investigation on this man's eyewitness testimony. As a result, it led him to believe that the kidnapping and this facility were related. And that's how he came to suspect the head of the orphanage, Patricia Rowland. Yeah. But in court, Blaze DeBest treated this testimony as if it meant nothing. Why would he do that? The president and his kidnapper were not standing inside the orphanage grounds. So, a connection between the orphanage and the kidnapping was difficult to prove. Oh. I see. It's not like they were seen inside the orphanage, after all. No matter how much evidence the detectives gather at the crime scene, it doesn't mean squat if the prosecutor won't use it in court. I mean, Blaze did kind of say that once you get to his level, you can just make up your own truths. Blaze DeBest had some kind of connection with Patricia Rowland. I figure they had some kind of deal going on. In other words, you think that Blaze was one of the kidnappers? Was Blaze a kidnapper? Blaze had Patricia found not guilty. Were they partners in crime? However, your father was convinced that Patricia Rowland was the culprit. Your father was a highly capable investigator, I presume. Might he have had some other basis for his conclusion besides the eyewitness testimony? Yeah, I figure he did, but I have no idea what it was. My old man never really talked much about this case. Agent Lang's father, Dai Long Lang. President Huang's most trusted confidant. The truth he discovered was suppressed by Blaze DeBest. First, we must find that hidden truth. Right, I think I can finally use logic again. Yeah, to connect. What did Blaze dig up, and was he a kidnapper? It must have been something related to the case. If we suppose that Blaze was one of the kidnappers, it becomes more likely that he dug up yesterday, or that what he dug up yesterday, is connected to the abduction. Ah, what is it? I figured it out. It was treasure. Treasure! Couldn't Blaze have dug up the ransom money? The $100 million ransom. Buried in the ground until the heat had died down? It's certainly possible. I know, right? But 12 years had passed. The concrete is broken, and the ground beneath them is exposed as Blaze dig up the ransom money. Yeah, it's possible, I suppose. Okay, so now let's examine this, I suppose. Rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and granny. It's got like a scotch mark on it or something. About this snowman. When we recreated the scene when Mr. Cameron was killed, it had already melted. Its scarf was all soggy and one of its button eyes was missing. Indeed, at this stage it appears that most of its original form was still intact. Although, there's one spot that looks unnaturally lacking. Poor thing, I bet some naughty kid must have plucked it off. Although, from a thief's perspective, that kid does have some promise. Was it plucked off by one of the children at the orphanage? No, perhaps it was taken by an entirely different person altogether. Yeah, we need to deduce. There we go. The bloodstained bootin. This snowman, wouldn't you say it's missing something? Ah, its right eye is missing. Precisely. And what's more, that missing eye happens to be in our possession. The button that Mr. Cameron was holding onto. It's got the exact same design as the snowman's left eye. If we assume this button was indeed the snowman's eye, a huge contradiction arises. If this button is the snowman's eye, what contradiction arises? The location of the victim, I would say. There's no way he would get smacked in the head near enough to death and be close enough to the snowman. Or hobble his way over to the snowman just to take its button. The victim was holding onto the button. Furthermore, the button was stained with blood. In other words, he grabbed the button after he was attacked. For example, if we were to picture it in this way, after being struck in the back of the head, Mr. Cameron lost his balance. As he was falling, he reached out his hand towards the nearby snowman. However, it could not support his weight, and he collapsed while still grasping the button. Huh? That means Mr. Cameron was near the snowman when he was attacked? Indeed. At the very least, he must have been within arm's reach, however. It's quite clear that he would not have been able to reach it from his current position. But Mr. Cameron's footprints only lead towards the flower bed. Yeah, but there was 2 other sets. Can we be certain that those footprints really are Mr. Cameron's? It seems we'll need to investigate them one more time. Understood. I'll recreate the time the body was discovered scene one more time. Oh, we have to hear that wow. Okay. These footprints should match up with Mr. Cameron's shoes, right? Let's inspect them again. These footprints... Are they really Mr. Cameron's? They're from size 11 shoes, and these huge footprints match up with Mr. Cameron's shoes. No matter how you look at it, they're moving steadily towards the centre of the flower beds. But then Mr. Cameron was attacked, he grabbed the button from the snowman. Even with a great thief's peak human conditioning, your arm just can't stretch that far. Let alone an ordinary civilian. It'd be completely impossible. The footprints come from the shoes worn by the victim, just as the case well say. However, does that mean Mr. Cameron was the owner of these shoes? We should re-examine Mr. Cameron's shoes. Oh, really? Why, he's wearing someone else's shoes? I mean, his left foot looks like it's a bit too big, but... These shoes should match the footprints. However... these shoes, it seems they are not the ones originally worn by the victim. What do you mean? If you look closely, you'll see that the laces were tied up strangely. And the size doesn't seem to fit quite right either. Victim's shoes didn't belong to Cameron. Culprit likely placed the shoes on the victim's feet after he had died. That would mean these huge footprints leading up to the victim's feet were most likely made by someone other than the victim. So then, the footprints leading to and from the victim's head must be Mr. Cameron's. No, not necessarily. They seem a little too small to be the victim's footprints. So none of the footprints are his. Then which way did Mr. Cameron walk from? It's quite simple. The victim did not walk here of his own accord, but rather, he was carried here after he was murdered by the culprit. There are signs that Cameron's body was carried from somewhere. Question now becomes, where was he killed and carried from? Perhaps it was near the snowman after all. Oh, look at the snowman. Wait a minute, what is that? Mr. Cameron's body was moved. If we consider the button he was holding onto, it's highly likely that he was killed near this snowman. I should take a closer look. Okay, I won't rest until I've inspected everything. What is that? The snowman has become a sad sight to look at. It can't be helped. Snow and ice both melt away with time. Just like the mysteries of the cases you have solved, Mr. Edgeworth. As time passes, those mysteries melt away while you continue to keep your cool. You do realise I'm racking my brain trying to solve those mysteries during a case. Oh, I thought that was going to be something. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, it's there! Shit, it's there! Keep forgetting to switch the screen. There's a brick missing. Huh? There's a brick missing here. One of the bricks near the snowman is missing. I wonder where that is. The rest are all in order. It's strange that only this one is missing. Logic! Right, murder weapon, and the missing brick. Perhaps the missing brick was the one used as the murder weapon. Brick near the snowman, the brick used to kill Cameron was from near the snowman. Ah, yeah, it seems to be just the right size to fit in that gap perfectly. Oh wow, that was short. Alright. Whoosh! As I thought, it seems the murder actually occurred near the snowman. Both the button Mr. Cameron was holding and the murder weapon came from there. Indeed. Also, if we assume that the killer picked up the brick near the snowman and then tried to sneak up behind Mr. Cameron, oh, Mr. Cameron totally would have seen the person picking up the brick. Exactly. Kay, please update the recreation. Mr. Cameron was not in the middle of the flower beds, but near the snowman. Kay, I'm on it. I get the feeling he also saw the kidnapping from a different... yeah, the kidnappers are in the wrong place. No matter how you look at it, this is strange. All the people involved in the case are gathered in the same place. Do we have a mistake here or something? Or did we make a mistake here or something? One piece of evidence this recreation is based off is odd, or based on is odd. If I had to choose which piece of evidence is fake, which piece of evidence is likely to be fake? The camera! Not that one. The picture. Mostly because if he was attacked over there and killed there, there's no way he would have taken it from where he was. Was this photo really taken by Mr. Cameron? What do you mean? We've proven that whoever killed Mr. Cameron also moved the body. For what reason would they have to deliberately move his body? Perhaps the culprit wanted to falsify the scene that Mr. Cameron witnessed. And that's why they took a fake photo. They made the president stand under the streetlight and took a photo with Cameron's camera. It would have been quite simple. Now that you mention it, Mr. Cameron's camera only had one photo on it, right? Indeed. In all likelihood, the original roll of film had been removed from the camera. And after loading a new roll of film into the camera, the fake photo was taken. I see. So, this photo must have been taken after Mr. Cameron was killed, right? Yeah, fake photo taken after Cameron was murdered. Exactly. This is not the scene Mr. Cameron actually witnessed. It's likely that this photo is forged evidence. Then where did Mr. Cameron witness the president and his kidnapper? The photo isn't the only piece of evidence that indicates what Mr. Cameron witnessed. Ah, the testimony he left on the answering machine. Precisely. We should listen to the recording one more time and confirm what was said. So where else could the president... wait, what? Where else could the president and his kidnapper have been? Near the fire, maybe? Oh, hang on. There's a street light up here, but that's the only one that's lit up. Yeah, I'll just sit under this. Boom. Mr. Cameron said this on the answering machine. The light just went off. I can barely see a thing now. There are only 2 places here where the lights are broken. The light by the orphanage. Okay, could you please update the recreation? Roger. There we go. This is... So, the kidnapper was near the orphanage. Indeed. With this, we've shown the connection between the orphanage and the kidnapper. Or kidnapping. So that's why they moved the body and took a fake photo to create a false testimony. In order to remove any suspicion towards the orphanage in court. With this, the state of the recreation has changed completely. The time the body was discovered, the scene was probably greatly impacted as a result. Now let's go check it out right away. Preparations are ready. Since the state of the recreation has changed once again, I should press the Y button and select Change Recreation. Yeah, let's give it a try. Are you shitting me? Yes, change. So you want to recreate the scene based on the police investigation data? This is the time the body was discovered, when the police were investigating the scene. One thing I've noticed that's kind of strange is the massive pile of blood. When Cameron wasn't even killed there. And there's no way he would have bled out that much. In fairness, I don't need to examine his body. Originally, Mr. Cameron's body was here. In order to be consistent with the fake photo, he was moved to the center of the flower beds. Then, the footprints going back and forth from the body, could they be? Indeed, there's only one possibility at the moment. These footprints were probably left by when the body was moved to the flower beds. Right, the one thing that's really weird is this. The massive blood print. The blood stain. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. The blood, it also cuts off here. Which is very odd. But that was obscured before by his body. The blood splatter the blood splatter above the snow. There certainly was a substantial amount. It's almost as if the murder was actually committed here. But Mr. Cameron should have been attacked near the snowman. Exactly. In that case, this blood must belong to someone else. What? But the police report said this was Mr. Cameron's blood. The one in charge of this case was Blaise de Best. It would have been simple for him to falsify that information. But wouldn't it be faster to just clean up the bloodstains, rather than falsify the information? He wouldn't be able to do that, think about it. So Blaise knew that Mr. Cameron's body would be discovered here. In which case, the forensic department would naturally become involved. Ah, a luminol reaction. They would have discovered it with the power of science. Precisely. It would have been difficult to completely erase all traces of the blood. However, falsifying the results of a blood test would be much easier in comparison. He would just have to switch the results from the forensic report. Oh, what a bummer. Knowing those documents I read were falsified? It looks like Mr. Cameron's clothes were completely soaked in blood. If the blood scattered here got onto Cameron's clothes, that would mean, at the time, the bloodstains here had not dried yet. I see. So then, this certain somebody's blood was splattered here just a short while before Mr. Cameron was murdered. Indeed, that's exactly right. However, if that's the case, wouldn't a new contradiction arise in this recreation? So we got the mysterious bloodstain. Left at the crime scene 12 years ago. Belonged to someone other than the victim Cameron. Actually, wait, can I deduce the bloodstain or can I deduce this? I suppose I could do that. Ah, crap. There we go. It's connected to the fire! Because that cuts off part of the blood stain. There it is. Fire! Eureka! This is a clear contradiction. Huh? You mean this bloodstain? Do you see how this bloodstain is broken up by the remains of the fire? This is proof that the fire occurred after the blood had scattered around the area. Huh? But I thought the fire occurred before the murder. Yeah, it was not a kid's prank. It was on purpose, more than likely. It seems that information is suspect as well. If the fire had broken out after the murder, then the child who started the fire should have seen the body and the bloodstains. Why then did they not come forward as a witness? It's likely that would have put Blaze at a great disadvantage. Guess we'll need to investigate this fire in more detail. Hey you! Yes sir. There should be some records of the fire in the police department, under a different case file. I want you to bring me every last investigation report about the fire. Understood, Shifu. Oh, and one more thing. What is it, sir? Contact the House of Lang in Zhengfa. There should be evidence from this case in my old man's room. Oh wow. What do you mean? I just remembered. Why I recognize this scene. A long time ago I saw a picture in my old man's room. It was a drawing resembling this scene. Oh. What did you say? However, I think it looked like something a child drew. A child? And the artist may have been the culprit behind the fire. It should still be somewhere in my old man's room. Have them send it over here. Understood, sir. Sometime later. Oh, there we go. Woohoo! Well, there's that. Did we do it? I guess we did it. Not too shabby. Shifu, I'm back. Brought the info on the fire the kid started and a photo of the drawing in your father's office. And also, oh, I've been waiting for this. Hurry up and hand him over. The information held by Agent Lang's father. Oh! That's Dogen. The bald man with the dog. He has the bouquet of lion lilies. He also has the Mozilla plush. Again. This is it. It's exactly what I remembered. This was the picture drawn by the child, depicting the night of the incident. It sure looks like it was drawn with a child's touch. As I thought, the one who drew this is most likely the child who started the fire. Child's drawing, a drawing by the child who started the fire 12 years ago, depicting the night of the incident. Shifu. What now? Sorry, but it's gonna have to wait. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor. Why do you think my old man had this? Perhaps he obtained it during the course of his investigation into the incident. Although I don't know why he would have concealed it. Agent Lang, might I be able to see the details of the fire? Yeah, sure. Allow me to read it post-haste. The boy who started the fire snuck out of bed on the night of the incident. It seems this boy went missing several days later. What? Don't tell me that he witnessed something he shouldn't have. That's horrible. He was only a child after all. While I'd hate for that to be the case, we can't rule out the possibility entirely. Huh? Apparently, the boy left some stuff behind at the orphanage, and it was taken as evidence. What's this? What's that doing here? Mr. Prosecutor, do you recognize this? Yes. I know one piece of evidence that's related to it. Which piece of evidence is related to what the boy left behind? Really? The Mozilla doll. What? I don't know what it's doing here. But isn't that the missing horn from this Mozilla doll? No way. You mean this came off the president's... You know of it? Yeah. I've noticed the president kept it close by as a decoration. I always thought it was strange how one of the horns was missing. If you twist the horn, this doll will play back any previously recorded audio. So if we put the missing horn back in place, we might be able to hear a different recording. Indeed. It is possible. The doll is currently on the 51st floor of the Grand Tower. Hey you heard that, right? Yes, sir. I'll be right back. Nice. Shifu, I've got it. The Mighty Mozilla doll. Well done. Give it to the Prosecutor over there. If we insert the horn found at the orphanage into the doll... Oh, look at it. It's a perfect fit. Well, can you hear anything? Mr. Huang, it's Amy. It's been a while. I saw the news that you would be coming to this country. I was really nervous about doing this, but I decided to send you a message. Okay. Please, stop the playback. Judge Courtney? What's wrong? Stop it now. Uh-oh. It's a boy, your son. He's just been born. I'm sorry. That's all I wanted to tell you. His name is John. Oh. John Marsh. It's a fine name for him, don't you think? Marsh? Did she say John? I'll be waiting in the courtyard of the orphanage at midnight on February 9th. Even if it's just once, I want John to be able to meet you. I'm sorry if I'm being selfish, but I'll be waiting. That's why he was at the orphanage. Ah, no way. That was my... John. What's the meaning of this? Miss Courtney. John is not my biological son. He's adopted. Did John know about this? Of course he knew. John's mother, Amy Marsh, passed away about 5 years ago. She and I were cousins. Since we were young, we've always been really close. We were often mistaken for sisters. That's why when she passed away, I thought it was only natural that I look after John. Also, there were circumstances which prevented me from revealing his father's identity. I never even told John his father's name. That's what they were talking about on the Grand Tower. I'll put money on it. And now it's all been revealed, thanks to the recording on that doll. Did John's mother send the doll to the president? Hey. John? Was he, the president, really my dad? Yes, he was. Before you were born, Amy worked as a diplomat in Zhangfa. A diplomat? So that must be how she became acquainted with President Huang. Hang on, didn't you tell me she worked at the orphanage? Yes, after returning to this country, Amy left her job as a diplomat. She always had great passion for charity work, so she began working at the orphanage. Hey, Miss Courtney. So this Amy girl, she called the president there herself, but she never showed up at the scene of the SS5 incident. What's with that? Amy couldn't make it. Apparently, someone had been following her the whole night. Perhaps it was Blaze? I can't say for certain, but it's possible that it was his doing. After that, Amy never got another chance to see the president again. So, she died 5 years ago. This conversation must be painful for John. Oh right. Hey John, you thirsty? How about I buy us both some juice? We can go together. I'm a part of this too. I'll listen until the end. Besides, I can afford to buy my own juice. Ooh, shut down by a kid. Wow. John, do you understand the reason I met with the president 2 days ago? The secret meeting from 2 nights ago. I wanted to tell him about Amy's death, and that you were alive and well. But I see. That's why you couldn't tell us your reasons for meeting with the president until now. I get it. She would have had to reveal his connection with John. I brought a bouquet of lion lilies, so that he would understand I truly did know about Amy. Those flowers are a dear memory to the president and Amy. The first present she received from the president was a bouquet of lion lilies. But now even he has passed away. If only he was still alive. Perhaps I could have introduced him to John. Aw, poor kid. He's found out that both his mother and father have died. Shifu! I'm sorry to interrupt this atmosphere, but there's something I need to say. Oh, what is it now? Can't this wait? Well, actually, there's one last item that's been delivered here from Zhengfa. I have here the President's will. What? The President's will? My old man received a great number of special medals from the President himself. As a token of his trust, the President left his will in the protection of the Lang clan. Those medals and that will, they were the pride of our clan, our family treasure, so to speak. This is... Agent Lang, does that will have something to do with the current case? You bet it does. It says here, I hereby acknowledge John Marsh as my own son. What? What? John's name is in the President's will? Are you certain that will was written by the President? Yeah, he entrusted it to the Lang clan even before the SS5 incident took place. They'll have to appraise it back home, but by the name of the Lang clan, this is the real deal. Di Yun Huang was the president of an entire nation. The existence of his son would have caused considerable controversy. However, he left behind a will just in case. This makes it doubly sure. So I can't believe it myself, but there's no room for doubt. John Marsh, you are the son of Di Yun Huang, president of Zhengfa. Holy shit. Oh dear. John! He ran away. John! Oh, we ran after him. Oh my god, that took 2 hours! Ah! Never gonna finish. No, I'm never gonna finish the game at this rate. Jesus Christ. Shite. What do I do? Do I keep going? Do I not? I don't know. Shit. I'd probably have to say I don't. Fuck, man, I don't know. I mean, I could just say it not this session, but I say this every fucking time. Not this session, but next session. Next session will be different. Probably not. Son of a bitch. Also, what the hell's wrong with Shifu's face? His face looks really messed up. Yeah, I think I'm gonna call it the end of this session. I do want to finish this game, though. I really do. I'm very just invested in finishing it. I did not expect it to take, you know, like 10 hours to finish, but, you know, it happens, I guess. Either way, that is going to be the end of this session. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. And until next time, take care.